This man deserves to be named Person of the Year and could boast for generations. After all, he's the only ordinary man to ever knock Superman flat. The story begins with the Phantom Zone drifting in deep space. At the end of the first movie, Superman stopped a nuclear missile and sent it into space. But the explosion from the missile accidentally shattered the Phantom Zone's barrier, releasing General Zod, Ursa and Non, 3 Kryptonian rebels who were locked away by Superman's father, Jor-El, after their failed coup on Krypton. At the Daily Planet, Lois finally started to catch on. Every time Superman showed up, Clark was nowhere to be found. And on top of that, they looked strikingly similar. She started testing her theory in different ways.
Which is really strange, because a good reporter isn't supposed to let anything slip by her.
Well, that's, very amusing. Excuse me. Yes, sir.
Just then, the editor-in-chief interrupted them and assigned Clark and Lois to pretend to be a married couple and investigate the Honeymoon Haven Hotel, which was scamming customers. After the editor left, Lois decided to test her theory that Clark was Superman. She opened the window and jumped from the 100-meter-high building. Clark had no choice. He rushed downstairs just in time to catch her before she hit the ground. Then, with a quick puff of air, he slowed her fall, followed by using his heat vision to pop open an umbrella, ensuring her safe landing. He quickly returned upstairs and pretended to be concerned. This temporarily eased Lois's suspicions. General Zod and his crew landed on the Moon, where they encountered a joint US-Soviet space mission. They effortlessly killed the astronauts and destroyed their spacecraft. Zod realized that the sun had granted them unlimited power.
To all of us.
With their newfound invincibility, they decided to conquer Earth.
To rule. Finally, to rule.
In the first film, the villain Lex Luthor and his sidekick Otis were captured by Superman and locked up in a high-security prison. The genius criminal Luthor crafted a 3D hologram projector, tricking the guards. With help from his assistant and lover, Eve Teschmacher, he escaped using a hot air balloon. Otis was left behind due to his weight. Luthor had always been fascinated by Superman's origins and powers. Using his technical skills, he tracked down the location of the Fortress of Solitude. Once inside, he accessed Kryptonian records and learned about General Zod and his followers. Realizing they were the key to defeating Superman, Luthor began plotting to team up with them and use their powers to his advantage. Clark and Lois, posing as a married couple, visited Niagara Falls near the Honeymoon Haven Hotel. While touring the falls, a young boy fell, and Superman swooped in to save him. Lois immediately sensed something was off again. To prove her theory, Lois grabbed a gun back at the hotel and...
Lois, now don't be crazy now. What?
Clark was unharmed, and finally he admitted the truth. Lois revealed she had used blanks. This smart, brave and charming reporter had officially figured out that Clark was Superman. With the truth out, Clark took Lois to the Fortress of Solitude, where he unveiled the technological marvels of Krypton. He also confessed his true identity and his feelings for her. But being Superman meant he faced an impossible choice. He could either give up his powers to be with Lois or sacrifice love and continue serving humanity. He chose to enter the molecule chamber, giving up his powers to live as an ordinary man. General Zod and his followers touched down on Earth and wiped out the United States military without breaking a sweat. They found out the US president was Earth's leader, so they stormed the White House and forced him to his knees on live TV. The president had to do it to save everyone, but he also said there was one guy on Earth.
What I do now, I do for the sake of the people of the world. But there is one man here on Earth who will never kneel before you.
Now an ordinary man, Clark and Lois tried to live a simple life. But when a troublemaker picked a fight in a restaurant, Clark, without his powers, was no match for him. Blooded and helpless, Lois rushed to help him. Just then, an urgent news broadcast interrupted. The President handed power over to Zod, and Zod challenged Superman.
Come and kneel before Zod!
Clark realized he had to take up his mantle once again. After a long, exhausting journey, he reached the Fortress of Solitude, only to find the energy column shattered. Just as he was about to give up, a faint light from a remaining energy rod appeared. Jor-El's image appeared, scolding Clark, before channeling his remaining energy into his son.
Once before, when you were small, I died while giving you a chance for life. And now, even though it will exhaust the final energy left within me,
Father, no.
the Kryptonian prophecy will be at last fulfilled. The son becomes the father becomes the son. Farewell forever, Kal-El.
Then Jor-El's image vanished forever. After General Zod took over Earth, Lex Luthor approached him. He told Zod that Superman was Jor-El's son and offered to help them find him in exchange for Australia as his territory. With Luthor's help, Zod went to the Daily Planet to kidnap Lois, but Superman, now restored to full power, showed up just in time. After a fierce battle, the fight was at a standstill, but Zod discovered Superman's weakness. He truly cared about the helpless people of Earth. Zod began wreaking havoc on the city, slaughtering humans to force Superman to act. Superman chose to flee. Luthor demanded more territory. In exchange, he led Zod to the Fortress of Solitude, using Lois as a hostage. Once there, Zod decided Luthor was no longer useful and planned to kill him. With no other choice, Luthor switched sides and joined Superman. Superman quietly told him that if they lured Zod and his group into the molecule chamber and exposed them to the rays, it would strip them of their powers. True to his treacherous nature, Luthor betrayed Superman yet again, tipping Zod off about the plan. Using Lois as leverage, Zod forced Superman to enter the molecule chamber, leaving him to face his impending fate. Luthor flipped the switch, and the Fortress of Solitude was filled with a red light. Clark stepped out of the chamber, visibly exhausted, and knelt before General Zod.
And swear eternal loyalty to Zod.
The truth was revealed. Superman had reversed the chamber's function, stripping all Kryptonians outside of it of their powers, while he remained unaffected. Lex Luthor's ultimate fate was left ambiguous. Perhaps he was recaptured, or he escaped to plot yet another scheme. To ensure Lois's safety and secure Earth's future, Superman made a monumental decision. By reversing time, he erased all traces of Zod and his allies on Earth and wiped Lois's memory of his secret identity. This selfless act allowed the woman he loved to return to a normal life, free from danger. It was a painful choice. Yet Superman understood that only by letting go could he fully commit to his duty of protecting the planet. Once again, Superman became a lonely hero. In the final moments, Clark revisited the diner where he had been humiliated. This time, he effortlessly taught the bully a lesson, reclaiming a small piece of dignity. Even heroes deserve a moment of personal redemption.
This order's to go.
Nothing beats the original movie. A great film deserves to be watched all the way through.